This is Joshua Hart here for Seconds Out. Delighted today to be joined by Blair the Flair Cobbs. Blair, appreciate your time today. Been a big couple days for yourself. How is everything?
Wonderful, wonderful. Hey man, I'm so excited to be on and like I love what you're doing over here. And let's get into this. Let's get into this. Let's get into the drama, the action. Cause Blair the Flair's here, baby. Woo!
Let's get straight into things.
Seconds out, baby. Let's go.
The announcement has come that you've signed with Nova Sport, Napa Fitness, Elliot, the manager of Chris Eubank Jr. They'll be guiding you in your career now. First of all, how did this opportunity come around to work with Nova Sport?
Well, we developed me and Napa developed a quite a interesting relationship. He would show up in almost every event that I've attended, and he was just all I know is that all like look, the one thing I can notice is hard work, and he was working very hard for his people and doing very good for his guys. And I just continued to like go on about things and keep it in the back of my mind. But I had go like what was really going on is the problems that I'm facing with the management that I have, and then also Don King and a whole lot of things that could be happening that's not moving. We should have capitalized on a lot of big things that have happened recently with the Adrian Broner fight last year. That was a huge fight. It was a huge attraction. It ran numbers on so many different ways. I showed up and showed out and give everybody every part of me with the promotion, the build up, and the actual fight, and even like the post interviews and things like that. And then also going to like a lot of the sanctioning bodies banquets and stuff like that to actually give these guys a little piece of blood of flair. And the thing is, like while I'm doing all of this hard work, my team needs to be doing it too. So I had to make some adjustments with the management, and also getting out of the contract with Don King. And so like that was the whole thing with that. And I gave them everything I could. I gave them I gave them as much as I possibly could of my life to make something happen. I had a whole lot of um belief that something would come about, and it just didn't transpire the way it should.
Did you just feel it was time for a fresh start, and now you've got that? Where do you look to push on to next?
Well, I look to push on to the UK, baby. Blair the Flair's coming. Like, let's get it. Look, man, I'm super excited about the fight that had happened last weekend against Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. And like it was such an amazing attraction. It was a great performance from both fighters. And Nova Sports did a hell of a job
Mm.
with the negotiations, making sure that Eubank get as much money as he possibly can out of the situation, and they promoted the fight extravaganza all around the world, and it became one of the highest selling pay-per-views since Mayweather days. So like it was just great to just see something like that happen, and I want to be a part of that. I want to encompass a part of that, and bring Blair the Flair to to the UK and bring that fan base with us, and see if we can collide and make something special happen. You know, it's that I look forward to making these big fights like the one that we had last week.
So, Blair the Flair, you're going on a UK takeover. Is that the plan? You want to come over here, make some noise, see what goes down in the UK?
Absolutely, man. Like I always wanted to, and like it's always been special to me,
Mm.
the UK fans and the UK market, and it just seemed, and I remember back in the day, I used to think like, oh man, that was a market that probably needed more, needed more tight, like good fighters,
Mm.
quality fighters,
Yeah.
flamboyant fighters, things like that, and now I think is a good time. It's a good time for some of these fighters to bring some action to the UK and kind of bridge the gap between the US and the UK and all of the markets with the Saudis and everything like that, and kind of bring things together. And I think right now is a great time for Blair to Flair.
Well, you mentioned Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. It's only right that we do a little breakdown of that fight. A brilliant occasion for the British boxing fans. We saw probably once in a lifetime type of fight. When you saw those 12 rounds, did you, or how surprised were you by how competitive it was? Did you expect it to be like that?
Um, no, I didn't expect it to be that good of a fight. I didn't expect Chris Eubank to be that much better as a boxer. And I didn't expect Conor Benn to be that aggressive and that explosive and have that much volume to such a degree that I want to check his water. I want to know what's in his blood. I want to check his blood. I need a urine sample like today, right now. I, I'm not trusting nothing now. Like, yo, can I tell you that like Conor been through so many big punches to which he missed 90% of them and still threw punches. And he never got tired ever. It was scary. I'm like, oh my God, is this even fucking real? Like you'll see a replay of fucking, and you know the craziest part about it? You would see a replay, right? Of Chris Eubank not moving. and you got Conor Benn throwing like bombs, man, like shoo, 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 and like just barely missing. And the funny thing is, Chris Eubank didn't even move, man. He's not even a moving target right now. You're missing, and it's like, oh man, and like, how do you even keep up this aggression? How do you keep up this pace? It was just truly a remarkable, like, boxing. It was truly remarkable to see both fighters, and their hearts and dedications to the sport. Eubank gets caught a couple times. You know what I mean? It starts to look like, oh man, he might be hurt, but like he always pulled it off, and he stayed poised and disciplined and stayed behind his jab and boxing. He looked like he was supposed to win that night. But the thing is, a lot of people could look at the fight and give some rounds just for the ridiculous aggression that Conor Benn has.
Mm.
Even if it's not like even if the punches aren't landing, it's scary enough to count it like, oh shit. You know what I mean? So it was incredible. It was fun.
Do you feel Conor Benn went in there with the right game plan? Or what, if not, where should he have adapted and maybe done something differently?
I don't know. I think that Conor Benn did the absolute best that he could, and it just didn't work out. And like, unfortunate for him, but fortunate for everyone else, there was fair judges, that saw through the early rounds where he was just being aggressive, but not really effective aggressive, throwing a lot of punches, but not necessarily landing punches. And it was very interesting all throughout the fight because just like the heart and will of Conor Benn is just incredible, especially in that fight. I mean, he's fighting for a whole lot more than just himself. Look, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I would seriously doubt that he would work or fight that hard against me, but against that motherfucker, he's gonna work. Like, you know what I mean? It's something way beyond just a guy throwing punches in that ring between those two fighters specifically.
Conor Benn now finds himself at a crossroad, where there's two roads he could go down. It's either he takes the Chris Eubank Jr. rematch, or he goes back down to 147, and he wants to target a fight with Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight world title. If you were in his position or guiding Conor Benn, which road would you take him down?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the Chris Eubank fight is like his biggest payday, and it might even be a little bit more in the rematch. And honestly, that was a legacy fight. I mean, after two fights like that, you can really retire. I mean, what does it matter if you go back down a weight class to 147 and get knocked out? I mean, yeah, like that could happen if you go down to 147 from 160 whatever and fight, let's say Mario Barrios, but let's say Mario Barrios ain't around like by the time he gets to him. Everybody's trying to get a piece of Mario Barrios. You know what I'm saying? And like right now, I think he's gonna be fighting an extremely old Manny Pacquiao. I'm not sure if that's real or not. And in a lot of cases, these Pacquiao fights have not been maturing to actual reality. I was supposed to fight Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Never happened. We was in negotiations trying to make it happen, and I was already celebrating like, man, this is it. And then nah, it just didn't happen. Um, and then like it didn't happen with the Ryan Garcia. Like so, I don't know. I don't think that might happen. But regardless, Mario Barrios is either going to have to fight or give up his title very, very soon. Either way, that belt is getting snatched off of his body, whether it's from me, from Ennis, from pretty much anybody else in the welterweight division. Hell, even Brian Norman, I would wager that will probably give Mario Barrios a very hard time. Even though Mario Barrios is a great fighter, though, respectfully.
Who do you believe is the best fighter at 147 at the moment?
Well, the best fighter at 147 is two fighters. It's a two-part deal. You have Jaron Ennis, and then you have Jaron Ennis complete counterpart, me. That's those are the two best fighters in 147, but they're in extremely different cases.
Mm.
The two fighters from Philadelphia with two very different, distinctful upbringings, upcomings, and abilities and things like that. And even in age, it's like two complete different pieces that kind of fit perfect. You know what I mean? For like ridiculousness. But that's about it. I mean, everybody else is like really close up there though. I mean, Brian Norman is an incredibly strong, rugged fighter. That's very dangerous just with one punch. Who else? We got Rashidi Ellis. He does pretty well, even though he's kind of been kind of blackballed into like a different realm, which is okay. I mean, he can win in his realm too, you know. Um, which is he been doing. And what else? We have a couple good guys. Staying honest is probably not going to be around anymore, but that's okay. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, obviously we have a whole lot of really good fighters from the UK. So we have Jake, we have Josh Taylor. You know what I mean? We have a few really really good fighters out there. We have Lewis Crocker, which is going to be fighting soon. And so that's honestly like most of the really good talent that are like up there are really in the UK, and that's why Blair Flair needs to be over there.
Well, see, just back onto the Ben Eubank Jr. talk. How much interest do you have in a rematch if it is to get made?
I'm very interested. Like what?
It's more
See,
just because.
I wasn't even as much interested in the first fight.
Hmm.
I wasn't quite like buying the oh yeah, my father this, my father that. I wasn't really giving a fuck. I'm like, look, yeah, but you not your father. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? But then, like, after seeing these guys and putting on the type of performance that they did, yeah, I want to see it again. Like what? Like I almost like after that fight, I almost immediately just stopped even pursuing Conor Benn. It's like you know what? You're gonna be busy for a while. Ain't no sense in calling you out no more, man. Like you, y'all gonna have to do that again. And then also by that time, he'll probably end up retiring. Like, I mean, after two big checks like that over $5 million checks. I mean, what are you doing it for? Legacy. Okay. Well, don't get your head knocked off or lose a tooth fucking around with legacy with Blair Flair. But that's what happens, that's just part of the game. But man, it's just great to see that happen. I mean, to see that fight was incredible. And I just don't see why we wouldn't just see it again.
See, the reason I asked that question is I've been asking this question to a lot of people today, and a lot of people are kind of leaning to the side of maybe not have a rematch, just given the fact that Conor Benn's been moved. I can tell you don't agree already, but obviously Conor Benn moving up to 160, it's very tough for him up there. He's very undersized, and a fight like he's just had with Chris Eubank Jr., it could take a lot out of him physically and really affect the longevity of his career, especially if he wants to go and win a world title.
I don't see it. I don't see it. That what the hell? You crazy? Like what the fuck? You crazy?
I'm not the one saying this. I'm not the one saying this.
Look, first of all, Conor Benn wasn't the one getting hurt. Like, it was Chris Eubank. Like Chris Eubank is the only person taking hurt punches, like hurt punches.
Hmm.
Like Chris Eubank is landing more punches, more precise, better shots. But by all means, Conor did not move even a bit. He didn't get caught with like some crazy shit. He didn't get like hurt. But man, like he did hurt Chris Eubank a little bit, and he threw it like I don't know, like that kind of explosiveness, that kind of activity, the way he took on that fight was so good to a point where like I don't even mind him just staying up at 160s or even fighting at 154 once he's done with that fight. Coming down in two weight classes might be a little bit too much for him.
Hmm.
I mean, for me personally. I mean, if I'm an asshole, I'd be like, hey, come down here. I don't mind knocking you out right quick. I'll make short work of you. Like, don't worry, we'll put you to sleep in 5 rounds. Like, but I'm not going to even be like that. Personally, if I was Conor Benn, I wouldn't go back down in weight class. I'll just fight Chris Eubank again, and then participate on making a big world title fight at the 160s. He has the power, he has the explosiveness, and for some reason, he's pretty strong and pretty his head movement is pretty good. He's not just a sitting duck, just getting knocked around by these big guys. So I don't know. I would like to see him, fight at that weight class and not go back down.
Without the rehydration clause for Chris Eubank Jr., do you feel that would have had a different outcome on the fight had he been able to rehydrate from the original weigh-in on the Friday morning?
That's an interesting question because there's only one or two ways. Without the hydration clause, right? He could have hydrated a little bit more, but he might have been sluggish a little bit. But also, he would never worry about being hurt. But then also, it could have never mattered. Chris Eubank came into the weigh-in looking incredible. He was in shape. And tell you the truth, he technically made weight. They were like trying to choke him out over a point something, 0.2 pounds.
I think the equivalent of the weight was just a packet of like individual crisps. Like if you've got a packet of crisps or chips, maybe as you will call it over in America, if you've got a little packet of them, that was the equivalent of the weight he missed by.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, But I don't know. That I mean, look, man, I fought Maurice Hooker, right?
Mm.
Who is like 6 foot, a little bit taller than me, but his reach is twice my reach. First of all, I don't know where the hell he get these monkey arms. Seriously, without being racist, but really, how your arms hanging down and dragging on the floor while you walk? But yeah, man. So I'm sitting there, but I fought him, right? I fought that man. He came to the weigh-ins weighing 153 while I was 47 on the dot. And I was like, man, and I'm telling him, like, look, I'm not going up a weight class. He needs to make the weight because I'm not putting on 10-ounce gloves. That's not happening. So they're like, all right, look, you both get the 10-ounce gloves, you both get the 8-ounce gloves, blase, blase, and like we'll just charge him a fee. And I just fought him. I fought him even though he was a whole weight class above me. Like, bro, all he had to do was drink one bottle of water, and he was a whole nother weight class, 154.
Mm.
And everybody thought that I would fucking get annihilated. Even my grandmama said, "Yeah, you gotta watch out." So, and then I put on the performance that I did. The whole idea is this, man. Sometimes it just doesn't matter.
Mm.
Sometimes it just doesn't matter whether you came in bigger or smaller. Sometimes it just matters what you have inside. Now, Conor Benn did incredibly good for that weight class, and tell you the truth, Eubank, even with the killing his body, we saw it, and trying to not hydrate 10 pounds over for a certain amount of time before the fight, but he still participated. He still did it, and then he won. I know a guy that, man, we looked at, like, man, the promoter was telling me about this shit because he's talking about trying to get me to fight, right? And he's like, yeah, man, this guy popped, and that's why we, like, the event got shut down. It was a main event with a heavyweight, and it was a rematch, right? I'm like, really, yeah, but the first fight he lost. He still lost, and he got popped for steroids. And then they showed me the list. He's like, look, this is what it is. He showed me the paper, and I had to do this. Like, Jesus Christ. He had a list of like every bit of like 20 things, 20 illegal substances in his body that he got popped for and still lost the fight. The gist of the story is, bro, sometimes when people be cheating, they still lose. You know?
A strange old game, isn't it, boxing? It's a very strange game.
Yeah, so yeah, he might have been over a point 0.0023 pounds. But that I can't even call that cheating, man. Like, Ryan Garcia was blatant. This motherfucker just like, yep, I'm not going down. It's 4 pounds over, baby. I told you. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, Blair, I think that's a good place to leave it. I've really enjoyed talking with you today. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to hopefully seeing Blair the Flair take over in the UK very soon. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Blair the Flair for more exciting content. Official BlairTheFlair.com. Woo!